Navigating through the archives of late-night television, the tenure of Johnny Carson as host of The Tonight Show holds a special place for many people. While his charismatic demeanor and effortless rapport with guests are frequently highlighted, there does lie an intriguing subplot punctuated by feuds, disagreements, and consequentially, the banishment of certain celebrities. Join Facts First as we present celebrities who Johnny Carson banned from The Tonight Show. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers, a pioneering comedian, enjoyed a warm professional relationship with Johnny Carson for years, often appearing on The Tonight Show and even serving as a guest host in Carson's absence. Her sharp wit and comedic style were well received by audiences, and her rapport with Carson was evident. However, their relationship soured in 1986 when Rivers launched her own late-night talk show on the then-new Fox network, becoming a direct competitor to Carson. The rift was not merely professional. Carson felt personally betrayed, as Rivers didn't inform him of her show before the network announcement. Rivers was subsequently banned from The Tonight Show, a ban that remained in place until 2014 during Jimmy Fallon's tenure as host. The ban and her show's eventual cancellation were significant professional setbacks for Rivers, though she managed to rebuild and sustain her career. Frank Sinatra. Sinatra, the legendary singer and actor, had a complex relationship with Johnny Carson and The Tonight Show. While Sinatra did make appearances on the show, it was widely recognized that Carson felt uneasy around him, partly due to Sinatra's reputed connections and formidable demeanor. The tension was palpable, and Carson was often more reserved and cautious during Sinatra's appearances. Although Sinatra was never officially banned, Carson's reluctance to engage with him was evident, and as a result, his appearances on the show were limited and often mediated by mutual friends like Dean Martin. Bob Hope. Bob Hope, a beloved actor and comedian, was a frequent guest, often dropping by to promote his specials. However, Carson grew frustrated with Hope's tendency to leave immediately after his segment without watching other guests, which was considered disrespectful. While Hope was never officially banned from the show, there were periods where his appearances were notably sparse. Despite this, Hope's career, deeply rooted in his status as a beloved entertainer, remained largely unaffected. Howard Stern. Radio personality Howard Stern's relationship with The Tonight Show and Johnny Carson was notably contentious. Stern, known for his provocative and no-holds-barred style, was banned after making several appearances deemed disrespectful and inappropriate. His comments and behavior on the show, which included making sexual innuendos and disparaging remarks about Carson and other celebrities, led to his ban. Stern's career was not significantly impacted by the ban. Louise Lasser. Actress Louise Lasser's ban from The Tonight Show followed a peculiar and widely discussed appearance in 1976. Lasser, who was experiencing personal challenges at the time, delivered a performance that was considered one of the most bizarre in the show's history. Her disoriented demeanor and refusal to leave her dressing room initially almost led to her segment being canceled. Carson was reportedly unhappy with the appearance, leading to Lasser's ban. She continued to work in the industry, maintaining a career that wasn't defined by this singular incident. Sinead O'Connor. Irish singer Sinead O'Connor, known for her haunting voice and bold personality, encountered controversy related to the show when she refused to appear on an episode that also featured comedian Andrew Dice Clay. O'Connor cited Clay's often misogynistic and crude humor as being in direct opposition to her feminist belief, leading her to cancel her scheduled performance. While Johnny was known to avoid conflict, this act of rebellion against the show's booking, and by extension its host, was not taken lightly. O'Connor was not a frequent guest following the incident. Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase had a somewhat tumultuous relationship with Johnny and the show. Initially, Chase was a welcome guest and even a guest host on the show. However, the relationship soured partly due to Chase's own late-night show, which was a direct competitor, although it was short-lived. The rivalry and subsequent tension between the two, both professionally and personally, led to Chase being unwelcome on The Tonight Show during Carson's tenure. Kathleen Turner. Actress Kathleen Turner was reportedly banned from The Tonight Show after making comments Carson found disrespectful and unappreciative. Turner, who had been a guest on the show, allegedly made remarks in subsequent interviews that downplayed the significance and impact of appearing on the show, which didn't sit well with Carson. While Turner was a celebrated actress, the ban did limit her exposure to the vast audiences The Tonight Show provided. Sylvester Stallone. Stallone, known for his roles in blockbuster films like Rocky and Rambo, was allegedly banned from The Tonight Show after canceling scheduled appearances. The cancellations and perceived lack of professionalism and respect for the show and Carson led to Stallone being unwelcome on the show. But given Stallone's stature as a prominent actor in Hollywood, his career was not notably impacted by the ban. Sandra Bernhard. Comedian and actress Sandra Bernhard found herself banned from The Tonight Show after making off-color remarks and engaging in behavior deemed inappropriate and disrespectful by Carson and the show's producers. Bernhard, known for her edgy and provocative style, reportedly crossed lines that Carson was uncomfortable with, leading to her ban. Despite this, her career, which often embraced controversy and boundary pushing, continued in films, television, and stand-up. Johnny's temper. Johnny Carson, while celebrated for his smooth, calm demeanor on the show, was known to have a different disposition behind the scenes, particularly in his personal relationships. His issues with temper and emotional expression have been documented and discussed by biographers, colleagues, and friends, revealing a complex person behind the affable television persona. Carson's temper reportedly affected his relationships professionally and personally. He was known to be firm and at times unyielding. Some guests were banned following those disagreements or perceived slights, showcasing Carson's willingness to assert boundaries and uphold his standards and expectations. In a personal context, Carson's relationships, particularly his marriages, were notably impacted by his temper and emotional complexity. He was married 4 times, and his marriages were often characterized by turbulence and challenges. His issues with anger and emotional expression were cited as contributing factors to the difficulties and eventual disillusions of his marriages. Carson admitted to struggling with emotional expression, and those close to him often spoke about the dichotomy between his public and private personas. Despite his issues with temper and emotional expression, Carson maintained numerous long-lasting relationships in the industry and was widely respected by his peers. His legacy in the industry remains significant, though discussions about his temper and personal relationships provide a more nuanced view of the late-night legend. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these banned celebrities was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.